Thank you for joining us on Business Now. My name is Uchechukwu Onodu. The federal government is set to make about 124.26 billion naira in a year from the imposition of a 0.5% import tax on goods imported into Nigeria from outside Africa. The bill, which was signed into law on 28 May 2023 by former President Muhammadu Buhari, imposed a levy of 0.5% on all eligible goods imported into Nigeria from outside Africa. According to data from the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria imported 24.85 trillion naira worth of goods from outside Africa in 2022. Also, the law is to finance capital contribution, subscriptions, and other financial obligations to some institutions, which includes the African Union, African Development Bank, African Export-Import Bank, ECOWAS Bank for Investment and Development, among others. And the federal government on Tuesday issued and signed licenses for the establishment of 2 crude oil export terminals capable of generating $11 billion revenue annually for the country. It is issued the licenses through the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority to Belima Sweet Export Terminal Limited and NNPC Exploration and Production Limited in Abuja. Speaking at the event, the chief executive of the agency, Farouk Ahmed, said the deal would lead to the addition of more than 4 million barrels of oil capacity to Nigeria's export storage. He said the activities are pursuant to the provisions of the Petroleum Industry Act, which has stipulated new provisions for the establishment of new export terminals. And still in the oil sector, where oil theft and illegal bunkering has posed a major challenge to the fiscal stability of Nigeria, even as the 10th largest oil producer in the world and the 3rd largest in Africa. For decades, the country's economy has been largely dependent on the product. However, with these challenges unchecked, as much as 200,000 to 400,000 barrels per day of the country's oil production is lost, leaving the industry under threat. To get more understanding of this, iBrandTV spoke with Ayodele Akinduite, an energy expert, a director, Tax and Regulatory Services, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Abuja.
Generally, there's insecurity, basically in almost every part of the country, and we then see the effect of that also in the oil and gas industry. So it's being able to tackle the issues around internal security. It's almost unbelievable that a key resource, a major resource, so important that it contributes close to 90% of our foreign earnings. We are not able to secure it as a country. So it's totally unbelievable. But, that is a situation where we found ourselves, and clearly is a reflection of the general insecurity that we have in the country.
The removal of petrol subsidy and the hike in pump price have led to a spike in transport fares and food prices across Nigeria. Particularly, the current cost of cassava fried flour, popularly called garri in Nigeria, has skyrocketed, with residents of Lagos State expressing mixed reactions about it. Our correspondent, Deborah Eze, has more details on this report.
Some foodstuff traders in Lagos on Tuesday blamed the fuel subsidy removal for the hike in the price of cassava granules, commonly known as garri, in the market. Survey conducted in some markets in the state revealed that a 4-liter paint bucket of garri now sells for as high as 1,600 naira, as against the 800 naira it was in December. Also, a bag is now 18,500 naira compared with 13,500 naira in January. This is just as the cost of a bag of garri continues to fluctuate each passing day. A respondent in Agege, who happens to be a cassava flour dealer and distributor, gave the cost in digits.
Garri will come down. Before subsidy, before NSAS, everything, bag of garri was 5,000, 6,000, but now it's 20,000, 25,000, 22,000, depending the size.
Customers are complaining, but it's not our fault. is our government. So I pray that our government should help the country so that everything will balance.
Meanwhile, Nigerians continue to grapple with the incessant hike in the price of food items and erosion of purchasing power amidst other infrastructural and social problems ravaging the economy, as traders and consumer alike complain of bad road network, seasonal fluctuation, and cost of transportation. Deborah Eze for iBrandTV News.
In a similar development, while Nigerians grapple with the ripple effect of the government's decision of fuel subsidy removal, iBrandTV monitored the situation across major markets in Lagos within the week and found that prices for cattle and goat have risen significantly due to the effect of the removal of the fuel subsidy. Our correspondent, Deborah Eze, presents this report.
In Lagos, Nigeria's commercial nerve center, the people have begun to settle with what can be described as outrageous prices of food items. A survey conducted on Tuesday at some abattoirs noted differences in prices. Speaking with butchers, they explained how much impact the fuel subsidy removal has had on the cost of mutton and beef.
Let me say, before, it's like gain of 20,000 naira for one cow. But now, the gain don't go down now. It's just 10,000 naira. 10,000 naira for one cow now.
I buy cow meat like on 100 before, but now it's 300k. The subsidy just started, but the thing don't happen before subsidy didn't come. I can't know, maybe now subsidy sha.
As every day by day, everything is expensive. Sure, you understand. Before, how much are we buying full goat before? But now everything is expensive. Like one goat now is going to 50k. Depend on the size. We have 30,000 naira, we have 40,000 around. That's it. So it depends on the size you want. But starting from 30 to upward.
Everybody knows how something goes. For it don't cost. Even the one we kill today, we buy on 45, and which we want to see gain out of it. That's what I see.
In value terms, goat meat production shrank dramatically, while sales continue to indicate a relatively flat pattern. Deborah Eze for iBrandTV News.
And the leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students, led by their national president, Umar Barambu, on Tuesday visited President Bola Tinubu over the student loan bill that has been signed into law on Monday. Speaking with State House correspondents after the engagement with the president, Barambu said they urged him to review the constitution of the special see the new Nigerian Education Loan Fund to include student representatives. Barambu also said that there are some organizations that were included in the bill that ought to be excluded, especially the Nigerian Bar Association and the Academic Staff Union of Universities. According to him, ASU has its own microfinance bank running their affairs without students on it, so it is unwise to allow them on a board that is purely for students. In response, President Tinubu pledged that his administration would continue commit more resources to the education sector to ensure that every Nigerian child, regardless of their background, has access to quality education.